Right now, an area of intense thunderstorms is exhibiting tropical rotation just south of the Gulf of Mexico, and they could possibly undergo rapid intensification. Just named Tropical Storm Idalia by the National Hurricane Center, what could become Major Hurricane Idalia is expected to make landfall somewhere in Florida on Wednesday. Now, there's a lot of different possible outcomes, so let's go over a few of these possibilities. The floor, or the least impacts we could see from this system, would be wind shear making sure that rapid intensification doesn't happen, which will result in a strong tropical storm or a Category 1 hurricane making landfall somewhere in this cone here. Bringing gusty winds, storm surge, and flooding, this would not be that intense, but it's still something to look out for. Situation 1 is a 3 to 5 in terms of intensity, and this is currently what's forecast by the National Hurricane Center. And we can see this in their most recent outlook, but there is one very concerning part, which is how much they're stating there's not a lot of certainty with this forecast. And that brings us to outcome number 2. The ceiling, or the most impacts we could reasonably see from this storm, is nothing short of catastrophic. If this storm manages to fight off the wind shear and rapidly intensifies over the Gulf, we are looking at a hurricane the magnitude of Michael or Ian, which were both Category 5 hurricanes, did the exact same thing that we may say here, rapid intensification. If scenario 2 happens, this is going to be an 8 to 11 out of 10 in terms of intensity. Now, which of the two scenarios do we think we're looking at? Unfortunately, I believe that we are leaning towards the second scenario, which is that we will see rapid intensification and see a catastrophic hurricane making landfall. Looking at spaghetti models here, the last run shows this intensifying up to a Category 2 hurricane, but unfortunately this does bring back a lot of memories of Hurricane Michael. Spaghetti models for Hurricane Michael painted almost the exact same picture as this before we had aircraft dropson data from the storm. Now, I know what you're asking yourself, how can we model a hurricane to be a Category 2 and it ends up being a Category 5? Part of that is that we don't actually know what's going on inside the storm until we send a hurricane hunter's aircraft in there to tell us literally exactly what's going on. They're going to take a plane and fly it into a hurricane. Sounds fun, right? I know. And the other reason is environmental factors and how we model them. Right now, the models aren't doing a very good job of telling us what this hurricane is going to do, and that's because the environment that it's in is so crazy. In order for a hurricane to undergo rapid intensification, it needs 3 different factors: heat, time, and clean air. We're going to call this the hurricane triangle. Taking a look at the Euro here, here's our storm right now, and we can see that it's expected to spend plenty of time over the open ocean, so we definitely have time. So that's one side of our triangle checked off. In fact, right now the system's actually moving southwest, so it's going to be able to spend more time over the ocean, and this is also exactly what Michael did. Once again, another scary similarity between the two storms. Over here on the RTOFS, we can see that we have the hottest sea surface temperatures we've seen in a long time, with temperatures literally staying off the charts for the entirety of this storm system. So we without a doubt have part 2 of our triangle checked off. However, part 3, clean air, is up for more debate. Over on the GFS here, right here we have the area of wind associated with our hurricane, but then you can also see right here where we also have elevated wind shear. Now, if we see this wind shear stick around by the time our possible hurricane moves into the Gulf, we're probably not going to see rapid intensification. However, there's just not enough shear to say for sure we won't see rapid intensification. So it's still quite possible we will see a major hurricane. If we manage to see this system fight off wind shear, it will bring catastrophic storm surge, also associated with the increased tides from our supermoon, and extremely damaging winds upwards of 100 miles an hour. Along with that, we'll see excessive rain through much of the US, not only affecting Florida, it'll also go into areas in Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas. But until we see the storm interacting with this area of wind shear live, we're not going to have much of an idea of what it's going to do for sure. So it's very important to stay tuned to the NHC for any updates they might have. Alright, well that does it for today's video. I'm sorry that we couldn't tell you for sure what's going to happen with this storm. We just don't really know what's going to go on with this wind shear. So it's important to like and subscribe to the channel to see future updates we'll have. Also, if you want more frequent updates, follow me on my Twitter. My link's down in the description. I'll post updates on here about every 5 minutes. I'm on Twitter too much. Alright, well that's all I got. Bye.